Leo, welcome Leo to Blood Moon Oracle. And tonight we are taking a look at career and finances, love and connection, because it is Mars retrograde. And so um, we will be taking a look at how that is going to show up for you in those two specific areas, right? Love, finances, career, and connections in general. And so we're going to take a look and see how that's going to show up for you, Leo, during this time. For some of you, you may not be clear on, what that means. What is Mars retrograde, right? Not everybody knows what that is. Some of us just think it's a time where bad things happen. Uh, Not necessarily. I tend to think that this is actually going to be one of the best times of the year. For some reason, this retrograde just seems like it's going to offer a lot of good things for us, Leo. But being that it's in Mars, that does mean something specifically. And I want to tap into the energies for you specifically and explore that around love and career, finance, and connections, just to see if there's any insights that we can get out of this, any guidance on navigating this astrological event. Okay. Mars retrograde. What is it? Some say that it is a time where we will actually be going into some type of introspection, however that looks for you. This could also be a time that offers some emotional opportunities to emotionally grow, an opportunity to adjust routines, maybe that we've outgrown. Maybe we need to up our routine. I don't know. This could be a time where we're reevaluating our connections, our friendships, our business partnerships. This could be a time where we're looking for resolutions to conflict that's been ongoing. And it just could be a time to express what it is that we want, express our desires. And so, what that may bring is just opportunities to nurture ourselves, to be more graceful with ourselves, give ourselves permission to rest, for one. We are at the end of the year and we've been working hard all year, right? And so we are giving ourselves permission to rest, Leo. And this could also offer opportunities to process our thoughts, to stop and process, or even to redirect our energy to shift where that's going or how we're using it, specifically towards nurturing ourselves and those connections that are close to us that we want to keep, right? This is also, just a time to, be gentle with ourselves overall. Mars is a planet of action. It's very masculine energy. And so this energy brings aggression, it brings war, and it brings the energy of the wheel. And so it's very strong energy. When we're in Mars retrograde, this is the feeling of kind of feeling like we're stifled, or some things could be feeling like they are stifled, right? Our inspiration, our aspirations may be difficult to conjure up. And so this is a time where we're going to have to push ourselves. It's going to take a little bit more to get into, the mojo, into our mojo. It's going to take a little bit more, but that's because of the positioning of the planets right now. Ain't nothing wrong with you, Leo. It's just the lining up of the planets right now. They're in retrograde in Mars. So we went into Mars retrograde on December 6th. And when we went into Mars retrograde, it was in Leo, which is very fiery sign. It's very fiery energy, excuse me. And so around January 6th, we will then transcend over into Cancer, which is a water sign. So I feel like that might bring in a little bit more sensitivity, more sensitivity than Leo, but a little bit more sensitivity, maybe even some cosmic astral energies, right, along with this retrograde. And then on February 23rd, 2025, that's where it will end, still in Cancer. Okay. And so here we have you coming in, Leo. And for you, I feel like this could be a time where overall you're being prompted to do reassessments. And that could be with any area of your life. When it comes to how you present yourself, you may be wanting to do like a overall, a makeover, or restructure how that looks, how you're presenting yourself to the world. This may also fall in line with even doing a whole level up with your goals, Leo, and really seeking this peace, right? Through even taking time for yourself overall. I think this time for you, there is a craving for peace and for stillness and for this inner reflection, right? For you, that's how that nurturing is going to come in for you. And so for you, Leo, this is preparing for this very profound reinvention of yourself during this time. That's what's happening for you. Once we move past this around March, once spring comes in, there's going to be like a fresh, renewed, a clearer purpose. And you're going to be able to connect more freely and more clarity around what's coming in for you and from you as well. And so we're going to start with love and connections for you, Leo. Again, welcome to Blood Moon Oracle. Make sure you like, share, comment if you're enjoying this. And if you have not had an opportunity, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you'll be notified as well, okay? Thanks for stopping by, Leo. Let's get started. And so when I took a look to try to find out like how this is specifically going to impact you when it comes to love, and this doesn't always have to just be romantic love, like this could also be connections. It could also be your family connections, your friendships, your relationships, anyone that is connected to you, right? This could pertain to those types of things during this retrograde, Leo. And the Empress came out for impact for you. Very interesting. How this is going to impact you is the Empress. Now, the Empress is known to be, she's known to represent fertility, like she represents growth, just in her being, you know, and also she is known to represent and stand for family, which is part of that idea around growth, right? The Empress is all about creativity, and even she's like the archetypical mother, you know, and so she gives off very Venusian energy, that Aphrodite, goddess of love, you know, type of energy, and the Mother Earth type of energy like Gaia. And it's almost like everything that comes from her is all about growth, and, you know, from this energy of really beautiful intention. And everything that is around her has this growth spurt, right? And so many times when you see the Empress in her picture, she's surrounded by very earthly things, and everything is in bloom, everything is in growing. All of the animals are gathered around her. In fact, in many of the pictures, you'll even see her in bloom. She's pregnant, but it gives the idea that there's this symbolism of everything growing. For you, this could be like generations moving forward or multiplying right here before your eyes. In this picture, I'm looking at the branches in her hair, right? Instead of seeing her belly, it's displaying that growth through her hair with branches, which kind of symbolizes this idea of the tree that's, growing. And so um, I really do feel like this is about growth or creativity to some new part of your legacy, your family. There's some branching out here. This is how it's impacting you. It's causing some level of growth. Very beautiful growth. If we take a look at your relationship specifically, this could actually be presenting some level of realizing the gift of your connection because it's so genuine, right? She represents this very beautiful, very genuine, authentic love. This might be a time of a furthering of a relationship, right? If you've just been in a relationship and just, claiming each other, maybe you're about to take it to the next level. This is all about growth with the Empress here and commitment too. And so for those of you that are in a relationship, you could be taking it to the next level. Or if you've been in a very stable, committed relationship, this is even deepening that in some type of way, growing that. There's some growth that's happening with your connections and as it pertains to love for you. This could also represent the potential of coming into this type of situation when it comes to love. If you're a single Leo and you don't have a relationship, or maybe you've yet to have that sense of fulfillment when it comes to your connections, this may symbolize for you that you're entering into a season where you're going to find potential love everywhere, Leo. And you're right to seek it, right? Don't hide from it because what you want wants you. And so this really is a time, wherever you are, this is really a time that's offering enjoyment and fulfillment in your relationships, in your close connections, your friendships, and your family, right? And so interestingly, the Empress was clarified by the Six of Wands and the Queen of Swords. The Six of Wands and the Queen of Swords. And so the Six of Wands is, again, reiterating that really beautiful time of happiness. It is a time of being highly encouraged when it comes to life in general, right? And you may feel just highly supported and encouraged and just like at the top of your game right now, Leo. Like everything is just really serving you very beautifully right now. That's what the Six of Wands says. It says that you are really enjoying your position where you are right now. You have the best of this life right now. And no matter what has happened on the way here, the worst is over, the best has come. It's here. And so this is a time that you are being invited to really respect and appreciate everything. Yeah. As you can see, she's like literally riding on her white horse, right? It means that's what it means. Like, yeah, you're winning right now, Leo, when it comes to love, whatever that means. That's how it's impacting you, this Mars retrograde. You feel like you're winning. And if you don't feel like it, you may need to just look around and say, well, okay, I'll take that. I am. Yeah, this is definitely a time to be proud. Um, and to just be appreciative, right? This doesn't mean being Hasidity and all, but this is really this is like Empress energy. It's a deep reverence for what you have right now and an appreciation for that. And then with the Queen of Swords, this is the Queen of Swords brings very smart, independent energy, right? It is feminine energy. So it's being connected to this very strong feminine energy, and really being connected to who you are in your feminine energy, and not being apologetic for it. That's the energy that the Queen of Swords brings for me. She carries this high level of self sufficiency, very perceptive, at the top of her game, at the top of the class. That's why she's riding on this white horse on the Six of Wands. But it's also talking about the energy of the wheel, right? You're right in this energy, and it makes sense because we are in the when we entered into Mars retrograde, we're in the energy of Leo, very fiery energy, very witty, totally honest, very frank, very head over heart type of energy. But I feel like this is beautiful because it's balanced with the heart energy that the Empress brings, right? And so things may, in fact, be lining up so perfectly for you right now that you have no complaints at all. Yeah, you have no complaints at all. You have everything. You may, in fact, feel like everything is exactly as it should be. And though it may not last forever because we are constantly moving and changing, this is the snapshot of almost feels like a perfect moment for you, Leo. And so enjoy it while it lasts, okay? This is how it's impacting um, your connections and love for you. Yeah. Now, when we take a look at how that's going to show up for you, how it's going to be manifested, we have the sun here. And of course, we know that this is your card, Leo. The sun is Leo, right? And this is also like one of the happiest cards in the deck, Leo. There's nothing to complain about with the sun. Now, the sun also is giving more vibes towards things aligning for you. And when we talk about the sun, this is success. It's also energy around children as well. So it gives more of that energy of seeing yourself extended, right, through generations, and possibly seeing your happy legacy extended forward too. This is really a beautiful time of fulfillment and happiness that's being shared and cultivated with those that you love. And as you can see, it's a golden sunflower, right? And then the two little sunflowers on the bottom here. Can you see that with the little kid faces in them? This is such beautiful energy, Leo. This is how it's going to show up. Not only are you feeling this sense of perfection and beauty and appreciation right now, I feel like everyone around you feels that too. They feel it too. Even the kids can feel it, because this is symbolizing really a beautiful time of growth, right? So you may find yourself surrounded. One of the things that one of the ways that you can tell that your family legacy is moving forward is if you're surrounded by kids. That's a sign that your bloodline is being extended into the future. So Leo, you may look around and find yourself surrounded by children. You may have a lot of children. However that looks, this is the sign that with this Empress, when we were talking about all of these different branches being extended from her, right? This is the sign that your garden is growing, right? Your legacy is growing, your bloodline is being extended. And it's something that is being enjoyed right now in this picture. It's so beautiful. And I feel this sense of protection from the world, right? This is definitely something that you are protective of. You're someone who's very protective of their family. And it almost feels like there is this paradise, that you have built for those that you love. And it's like a safe space, where the kids can, enjoy their innocence, where they can play, where they can explore and be creative, where their ideas can come into fruition, And so the sun's element is fire, which brings in that warm feeling, and it brings in light, so nothing is hidden. So it's a very strong, successful feeling. And so, if this is you in your relationship, this is really allowing you to enjoy this moment, and even for you, return to that state of innocence. This is how this is coming up for you. It's allowing you a space to even enjoy this carefree innocence as well, or perhaps even delve back into those youthful energies yourself, Leo. For someone you could be recuperating from a moment of being down, right? You could have suffered from illness or something, but this is the comeback. And this is Spirit letting you know this is your opportunity to celebrate and to appreciate everything that you have with joy, with fullness. And you can enjoy it in this moment, right, Leo? This is also a very auspicious time for starting new relationships. This may be opportunities coming in for some of you that's been waiting to experience this kind of connection, to start growing, this family energy for yourself, or extending your bloodline. This is the perfect time where opportunities are coming around for you to start relationships, new ones. And this may bring children into your life. And so this is a time for you to not be shut up, right? This may be a time to accept extended invitations to social events, or accept opportunities, to do things that is going to lift your spirits. Get out, do things that you love. The sun was clarified by the Hermit and also by the Nine of Wands as well. So in this clarification, if there was anything that was kind of stifling the energy, or if there's anything that comes in to stifle the energy, because we are in that very aggressive energy with Mars being in retrograde. This is the Nine of Wands is inviting you to stay open to resolve conflict that arises, especially with your partner. Okay, understanding that a lot of this energy that's going to come to pass may in fact have to do with just the energy that we're in. You ever ran across somebody and you're like, oh, dang, who pissed in your Cheerios this morning? I didn't do nothing to you. Why you on the wrong side of the bed this morning, baby? It could be the alignment. It could just be the energy. And so this is a time to not go to bed angry, not allow things to just bypass, but be open and honest and vulnerable and transparent so that things can be resolved quickly, Leo, especially with your partner, but it could also be with loved ones as well. The Nine of Wands has also been known to carry this wounded warrior energy. So this may also be a time um, for some of you to release some odds if you haven't, if you're still holding grudges or you're still seeing yourself as like a victim to someone else's, decisions or something like that. This is a time this is an opportunity, right? Because this is how this is manifesting. And so this may bring up some of these energies to actually be resolved. Okay. So don't be upset if some old wounds get stirred back up. They may, in fact, be coming back up for them to be resolved, Leo. Okay. And so that's what the Nine of Wands is bringing in here. Even she, even in this energy, she just wears it well. It's such a beautiful sight to see. I almost feel like this is like the energy of carrying burdens that you just have never shared, carrying hurt that you've never shared. Well, and you do it so beautifully. You're not someone that wears your heart on your sleeve. You kind of suck it up and do what you have to do, because the Nine of Wands also carries this energy of the last man standing. It's like, if no one else is going to fight for this, I will. After everybody else has walked away or had something else to do or got tired, there you are, still standing, fighting for this, fighting to keep it together. And so I do feel like there's a lot that you bring to the table, Leo, when it comes to love and your connections. And this is also saying, if there were hardships, it's over. Like, the best is here now. Any conflict that you had dealt with in the past as it pertains to connections, there's an opportunity to resolve them here. That's how this is going to show up. Okay. And with the Hermit, this could be you taking the opportunity to really care and nurture yourself. You may recognize needing time and space away from everyone. And there's nothing to be, guilty about when it comes to needing space. Yes, you need space. The beautiful thing about the Hermit is that, and it's interesting because the Hermit comes out in your advice that Spirit is offering too. But the interesting thing about the Hermit is there is this beautiful energy of independence that grows within the Hermit, but that's the same energy that actually strengthens the bonds, because there is a sense of taking in the responsibility of happiness within yourself and not placing it on others, but you're taking time to actually seek that for yourself, in yourself. And then it's something that you then, once you find it and it's overflowing with you, then you have it to offer to others. And it's almost like pulling your power back to yourself. You're not looking to others to fulfill you or to make you happy. You are looking for that within yourself. You're doing that within yourself, and so there's a certain power, a certain strength that the Hermit carries here as he is being manifested, this energy of solitude and taking time and space to go and really dig within, retreat. It's almost like an inner retreat that you'll take within yourself. And some of you may actually take a actual retreat. Now that I'm hearing that, someone may actually take an actual retreat to go away, to be recharged and to recuperate yourself. there is a request that may come in, and Spirit wants you to acknowledge that request. Don't decline yourself from what it is that you need. You need this. This is actually the thing that's going to strengthen the bond with your connections and with your loved ones. This may be a time where you need to take time away, especially if you are a high achiever, a high performer. And I feel this, like I'm here with you, Leo, because so many times, especially when we are doing a lot and we're constantly, excelling and growing and stepping into new things, we deal with a lot of imposter syndrome, and doubting certain parts of the journey because we're always stepping into something new or challenging ourselves to do something new. This may be something that's coming up right now, which means that time spent alone nurturing yourself is going to be very beneficial for that if you're dealing with that during this time. And so don't beat yourself up if you recognize you need time away. They're still going to love you, Leo, and you're still going to love them. And after you come back, having poured back into yourself, you're going to love them even the more. And they're going to love you even the more too. Okay. And so there may be some going away to really connect with yourself during this time. To deal with, replenishing yourself, to deal with some of the things that you may be dealing with internally that you may not share outwardly, and so this is a time really to listen to yourself, and not take things personally either. Understanding the people that you're connected to are on a similar journey. And so not to take things to heart, right? I'm feeling that as well. Now, when I asked for advice, I got the Hermit. Any tips or advice during this Mars retrograde for you? And again, as I stated, the Hermit brings that energy. First of all, this definitely feels like either you are someone that's up in age, you're a little bit older, or you're an old soul. You could be young. You don't have to be up in age, but there's like a very mature energy here. The Hermit carries experience, right? The Hermit is a wise, sage-like soul. And so this is almost like the energy of love's retreat. We just got to talking about that. So again, that's coming up again in the advice. And so if you have the opportunity to take a retreat, Spirit is saying, take it. I feel like that's a definite. No bueno, right? Take it. Okay. Don't deny yourself from this. You need this. And again, I feel like this Hermit is going to bring that solitude, and it's not that you are moving away forever, but this is for the good of your connections. This is for the good of your relationship. And this time that you turn away to go inward and gravitate towards yourself and give yourself the love and the nurture that you need for your heart and your mind, this is actually going to help you if there are any blocks that has been created with your relationships or your loved one or in your partnership. This is going to help you unblock that and rekindle that intimacy with your partner or with your loved ones. Okay. If you recently ended a relationship, this is the perfect time to delve inside. Spirit may not want you to jump right into another relationship, Leo. Spirit may want you to love on yourself. For those of you that just ended a relationship, the Hermit actually reveals a time to look inwardly to see the healing needed. Every time we end a connection or we cut someone off, we cut a cord, we have to heal that. The cutting We have to heal the end of that, right? And so this may be a time to go inwardly. You may find yourself regathering with, old familiar surroundings, going back home or going back to groups that you were with, that you may not have had a lot of time for when you were in a relationship. This is a time to become refamiliar with old possible connections, old surroundings. This is a time to travel. If you can, to really just find yourself in this, whatever this is. And so it's screaming self, self, self. And this is screaming healing as well. In this picture, the hermit has a staff, and on the staff is like a snake. And you know what it's reminding me of? Healing. When you look at the symbol for the caduceus, I think it's called, I think it's the caduceus. There's a staff, but then there's snakes that are intertwined on the staff. You guys know what I'm talking about? The symbol for medicine. Whenever you go to a pharmacy, you see that, right? It's a symbol for medicine. And so this has a lot to do with healing here. Spirit is leading you into healing here. Whether you're in a relationship or not, this has a lot of self nurturing energy all around it. And he's holding this hourglass that's reminding of the time that's quickly passing. Yeah. And so there is this seeking for healing, the seeking for a retreat, a time away from love to replenish the mind, to replenish the body, to replenish the soul. Okay. That's in the advice. And then Spirit again is reiterating that with the Four of Swords. That's all about retreat. Somebody's going on a retreat. And if you're not, you need to, because this is plain. It doesn't get any more plain here. Much needed time for self. And then the Wheel of Fortune, I feel like, and even if you feel like you're not able right now, Spirit is going to provide a way. This is destined, is what this is saying. It's destined for you to take this time for yourself, for you to go on some type of retreat. And through this, there is going to be the enjoyment of the improvement of relationships through this. Okay, all of the relationships will improve. This is destiny for you to actually take care of yourself during this time, however you choose to do that. It could be a physical trip, it could be a mental trip, but it's talking about you taking time apart for you, Leo. Okay. All right. Let's take a look here. I'm going to go ahead and move on to career and money for you, Leo. And let's see. I usually don't want to shuffle. We're at 43 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and just pause it so I can lay out the cards, and then we can talk about the career and money for you, okay? Okay, Leo, I pulled out your career finance card. So the first card coming up is the Seven of Cups. And so looking at the Seven of Cups, this may place you in a position of really needing to, they're saying that you need to really examine your choices. The Seven of Cups is many times viewed as having lots of options, lots of opportunities, lots of offers, but it's not about the offers itself. But there is a need here to examine things carefully. And so you may find yourself really scrutinizing, your options or the things that you're considering to a point to where you're just even waiting weeks or, before making a decision, like you're that intent on making sure that this comes out successful. Of course, my nose starts itching, but this is all about examining things carefully. I don't know if you could be about to sign contracts, about to make a decision, but this may in fact point to not having all of the information that's needed. And so not rushing into decisions would be wise. I feel like you're going to be in the energy. It's going to impact you in a way where you're really slow and researching, right, on what it is that you're considering. Your cards that came out was the Six of Swords, and it came out sideways, which might suggest that you're considering something. You're on the wall about something, and it may have something to do with moving or changing something. And it could be around changing something that's very important, a direction of something, or it could be a physical move for some of you. But you're kind of on the fence about it. You're not sure. The Six of Swords is all about focusing on a path or a journey of something that you're experiencing, and whether to move towards something or away from something. It could be an event. It could be a place, right? And that change could represent making a change that would actually break old patterns and allow in, even fresh influences and just different ways of experiencing things. Maybe a whole change in direction. Possibly even inviting opportunities to let go of something that may be in a season of being, needing to be changed at this point. There's some great consideration, being that this card came in on the side. You're considering this during this retrograde. And it almost feels like whatever this is, you're going to need to take this into your hands to, determine how this is going to move. Things may, in fact, be there could be specific things that actually change for you. For some of you, Spirit may even, in fact, step in and make those changes. But during that, even if there's a sense of these changes happening that you're considering, and then they just start happening without you even having to make a decision, and it leaves you feeling a little bit out of control, this is a time to remember to rebalance through these changes that are happening. Okay, there's something you're on the wall about here, some decision possibly. And stay on guard, right, for things that come in unexpected. You'll need to stay on guard here and just be open for new things and welcoming new things. The other card that came out on its side as well is the Three of Swords. Again, mental energy. Swords represent mental energy. So this is something that will be probably heavily on your mind during retrograde, something that you're toiling with and dealing with, especially with the Seven of Cups, talking about needing to stay in this very analytical energy. So the Three of Swords usually bring in, traditionally, it doesn't mean that that's what this means, but traditionally the Three of Swords can talk about loss or concern for loss, or making a situation worse. or being concerned with being connected or bound to someone, or a place, right? It could be work or a workplace, a work location. But it's something about this that could present disappointment or be difficult to face. But with the other cards, I feel like this could be something that you very much um, have some level of power to determine how this turns out, Leo. And no matter how it turns out, I feel like you'll be working through this um, with love. You have all the support that you need. So, whatever it ends up being, you'll be supported. So, be courageous and focus on just staying balanced during these changes or whatever decisions you're having to make. And just remember who you are and what you stand for. I think in the end, that's really what's going to matter for you. That's what you'll default to, like who you are and what you stand for. And even though you may be in moments of solitude, remember the support that you have. They could be a great resource for making these decisions as well. And so there's going to be a burdensome decision possibly that you'll need to really be informed about during this time, or you'll have opportunities to make decisions that you'll need to um, just not make them off the helm, but really be informed and be educated about the decisions. Okay. Okay, Leo, and how this will show up, how it's going to manifest for you with career and finances is the Ten of Cups. And so this is like a heavy level of support and being surrounded with relationships that feel good. And really having the fulfillment as it pertains to your career. I feel like this says that you could be surrounded by a group of people, or you work in a place where there is just this culture of support, this culture of love. It's going to show up in that way during this season for you. And it's also being reminded, even in difficult moments, of what it is that you have, like how fortunate you are. And even in the moments where it may not seem easy or as wonderful as it is, it's looking around to be reminded of the things that are actually a pretty big deal. And possibly having people that do that for you too, remind you of what it is that you have as it pertains to this very beautiful space, this very beautiful workspace, and being fulfilled. It doesn't feel a lot like money. This Ten of Cups doesn't feel like financial success. It feels more like fulfillment, that type of success, and loving what you do and being able to connect with those that you do it with. And it's this very beautiful connective um, environment that the Ten of Cups talks about. And then it's clarified by the Six of Wands, which is that successful energy that came out in your love reading, and the Knight of Wands on the shadow side. And so when we look at the Six of Wands, of course, again, we were talking about this. This card talks about victory and success and triumph, as someone who is leading some type of charge and, you know, returns with the victor, with the prize. They return home with the prize, maybe gone off. It's almost like someone going off to fight a battle and coming home as the victor, being celebrated, uplifted because they won the battle. It's that kind of energy. So like I said, like whatever environment you're in, work-wise, you're heavily supported, appreciated in the best way. And there's something that you do. I feel like this lends you to servitude in some type of way. The Ten of Cups is all about connections. And it may, in fact, have to do with you being available and serving in some type of way for those that need, and it's mutual. It's mutual, this energy of championing what it is that you do or how you get to do it. I feel like there is this mutual energy that everyone pours in. Because this Six of Wands talks about maintaining a home. This isn't talking about a home, but here we're talking about an environment, right? This thing that we call home. But we're talking about a job space. We're talking about a career. We're talking about what you do, as your livelihood. Whatever that is, there's a very beautiful space that you get to do that in, Leo. That's how it's showing up, is looking around and seeing what you get to do, not what you have to do, but you get to do this. And it feels like it's something that is very supported. There could be lots of beautiful messages that you get about this too. In whatever capacity that is. It could be concerning the service that you give, the products that you sell, like whatever impact you're making, you could be receiving like all kinds of messages letting you know how you're doing such a good job. Or the messages coming in could be bringing some kind of good news, like the energy coming towards you is just all around really beautiful energy. It could be messages of encouragement to just keep doing it, how much you're impacting people. Now, when I look at the Six of Wands, not all of them are whole. Some of the clubs are broken, which suggests that there could be trouble in paradise, right? It wouldn't be worth it if there wasn't anything to overcome. If everything was always good and there was nothing to challenge us, right? So even with the things that may not be all good, right? This says that there is still the message of hope in spite of those little twerks, those little things that come in. And if it wasn't for that, it would be perfect. It's that thing, right? If it wasn't for this, it would be, but nevertheless, it is still perfect. It's imperfectly perfect. And so it's something to be thankful for and appreciative of. Now, with the Knight of Wands coming in on the shadow side, usually the character of the Knight of Wands, we're talking about a knight, which is fire sign. And I think this is Sagittarius energy, but someone very eager, very adventurous and passionate, very quick to go and do, to meet the needs. They're looking for excitement or some significance that they can pull out of their situation. Sometimes the Knight of Wands can get carried away in that excitement, and move too fast before actually giving full thought to what needs to be done. And in that, we call that just rash decisions, right? And so this may show up that way. Like there may be such a high level of excitement at certain times. But this is also being aware of that tendency, because the Knight of Wands can sometimes slip into like a carefree, careless type of carefree mood. And that's good. Depending on the environment that you're in, that may in fact be the type of environment that you're in, Leo, because this is how this is showing up. You may have that kind of environment where you can be like that, and you can have that carefree, that careless type of energy, and have it not be something risky, right? Depends on the type of what you do and the other people involved in your environment, right? It really depends. But this is what's coming up here. And it's saying that this will be manifested during this time. And so this is someone that's very strong. But there's a tendency to be spontaneous here with the Knight of Wands. Very strong, spontaneous, sometimes even a little bit out of control, if I can say that. And so sometimes there may be a need to be a little bit more disciplined or constrained, to be guided by that part of our character, right? And so there may be moments, I feel like this is what this is saying. There may be moments in this cycle for the Mars retrograde where things get so high, and so fun and just so electrified that it is possible to kind of lean towards this careless and the illusion of just having this free form safety, right? But it's also being aware of that and not allowing ourselves to slip into carelessness, right? And so, but it says that there's going to be this kind of energy here, whatever that is, right? But there's going to be lots of excitement, I feel like, what this Knight of Wands is saying. Still need to be careful, especially with how you're making decisions, right? But it's good energy, I feel. Now, in the advice from Spirit, we have the Eight of Swords, okay? And it's clarified by the Nine of Wands and the Five of Wands. We have all swords and wands out here, lots of wands in the clarification. And so this is about when it comes to your money and your career, there's going to be a lot of air energy, like a lot of thinking and needing to have your thoughts in line, right? And then being ready to go. But before going, making sure that you understand and are informed, completely informed, right? Because inspiration is not enough. We need clarity, right? To attach on to that inspiration so that we don't end up somewhere in the dark and not know how we got there, right? And so with this Eight of Swords, when we're talking about your career or your finances, this could be having to face your fears in some type of way as it pertains to finance or career. Having to face some fear or something that could have presented like some block because of fear. And fear is just, what do they say fear is? Fear is the evidence appearing real, false evidence appearing real. So it feels like it very much is just something in your mind. You could be thinking through scenarios and they haven't even, if you're like me, right, thinking through scenarios that ain't even took place yet, and you done played it all out in your mind, right? But Spirit is saying, don't get caught up in your mind, right? Don't do that. And allow your assessment to be backed by facts, right? Don't just allow things to play out in your mind unchecked, Leo, but fact check it, right? And especially don't let things block you from what you want to do or what you need to do just because there's some hypothetical scenario that's played out in your mind. Make sure that you move past those. I feel like is what Spirit is saying. There's some level of having to face, you know, and overcome some limited thinking, and not allowing ourselves to stay trapped. There's something that you may have the opportunity to overcome and face. I don't know what this could be, but Spirit is saying not to allow yourself to be tied up in your own limitations. In fact, you are not limited, right? You're not. And many times when we look at the Eight of Wands, it's a lady who's blindfolded and tied up, but everything is so loose. Like she's tied up, yeah, but it's not even a tight knot. Like she could easily just slip out of that and it's by choice is what I gather from that. And so there could be things that Spirit wants you to confront, things that, Spirit wants you to see, not look away from. And so there could be things that may be presenting blocks and making you think you can't leave it, but that's not true, right? You're free to leave whenever you get ready. When it comes to work, when it comes to finances, there's relief here. If we're able and willing to look past, right, whatever that illusion of a block is, there's always options. Okay. We just have to see them. And then when we see them, we just have to have the nerve, right? We have to have the inspiration to move on it and move past it. Now, as we look at let's see this, the Nine of Wands and the Five of Wands on the shadow side. The Nine of Wands and the Five of Wands on the shadow side, clarifying this Eight of Swords. Let's see what this false evidence appearing as real. Let's see what this is. So we have the Nine of Wands. So usually the Nine of Wands in this deck on the shadow side, generally speaking of the Nine of Wands, we're talking about some kind of warning is what this card is describing. A need to look out and prepare, possibly for some type of attack of some kind. This is generally speaking. This speaks of possibly finding ourselves between threat and protection, and taking a look, in the mirror and seeing a need for rest. And being on a time clock too, being pressured by time, something possibly to do with time. And something hidden may be revealed. And so when I look at it from the shadow perspective, though, this is talking about finding obstacles that's placed in the way or delays, maybe even illness, in some cases. These are situations that may seem dormant and may suddenly appear again, right? So it could have been something in the past. I feel like the Nine of Wands is saying that may have seemed to have gone away, but it resurfaces again, right? But this is saying, Spirit is saying to be careful though, Leo, that you don't overextend yourself, especially when it comes to resources. And to open your eyes, keep your eyes open for possible, attacks from those around you. So, you know what this is telling me? So, there could be someone. I don't know if you have failed to acknowledge the fact that this person is not for you. That's what it sounds like to me. There's someone that possibly has proven things that you're refusing to see. With this Eight of Swords, she's blindfolded. But remember, she's only blindfolded because she wants to be. She's refusing to take off the blindfolds and the ties. So there's something possibly that you are refusing to see. And Spirit is warning you to be on guard here. I don't know if this is something that happened in the past that seemed to resolve itself, but really it's not resolved. It's coming back up again when you least expect it, Leo. So Spirit is saying to be on guard and be ready for anything. That's why this came out, right? Because this is like this energy of carelessness, of being at ease, and everything is good, and spirits is high, and we're good. But there may, in fact, there may be something that you need to possibly be aware of, or someone is what this is saying. And then to be clarified again by the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is the energy of struggle or contest, challenge, competition, and it's for wealth and power. And so there could be someone, that's what underlies this card generally. On the surface, it's saying, yeah, we're working on this together. We're doing this. We're in this for the same reason, to, build wealth and do this. But underneath, there's something else going on with this situation or this person. Yeah, there's something to pay attention to. And this also could be warning not to be too confident, not to be overconfident. But the higher you go, what do they say, Leo? The higher the level, the bigger the devil, right? And so this could point to you even being at a different space than you were last time you faced this energy, right? And the fact that you've grown, you've been successful, you have, more to lose now. You know what I mean? And so it's that kind of energy with this Five of Wands. So Spirit is asking you not to lose your footing and not to lose grip of reality. Don't become overly confident. Like stay grounded, stay balanced. And make sure that you have clear channels of communication with those that you are around. I hear that as well. Now, there's someone that could possibly associate wealth and power. When I look at this Five of Wands, this is somebody that looks at, wealth and power as competition, right? And there's something hidden underneath that. I'm getting that again. Yeah, this person possibly falls prey to those things. And there's nothing wrong with wealth and power. It's good, but it's also how we look at it. And competition keeps coming up, and so this person could want what you have, or they just want to be, higher than you or better than you. That may be the underlying energy, that's being covered by something else that you're not seeing. And so Spirit is just saying to really be careful as you step into this cornucopia. And I feel like for you, this represents a lot of wealth and abundance, a lot of influence, a lot of power, right? And it just comes with the territory. And so, but this is a time to be careful. Number one, that you don't become seduced by it, right? And number two, that you are aware of the problems that arise from it. People think that because we have a lot of money, that that solves all of our problems. But baby, it's just the beginning. All we have to do is look at Hollywood to see it's just the beginning of our problems when we come into a lot of money and wealth and status and influence. A lot of energy comes along with that. And so I feel like someone is possibly not showing their true intentions around you. Spirit is letting you know to be aware. There might be a mole in the camp. Okay. And as we know, some people say what you don't know won't hurt you, but it definitely will. There's nothing like feeling like you're rowing across the water and all of a sudden you're sinking because the person that you thought was on your team helping you row was actually drilling holes in the boat. And so this is spirit just letting you know to keep your eyes open. And it almost feels like this could be something that came up at one point in time, and it feels like it seemed to be resolved, but there's still some underlying hostilities there. They haven't really released this or forgiven. They haven't really let it go. There's still a competitive energy there. Okay. So that's what I have for you. Overall, the money looks good. That's how you know you're doing good, right? If you ain't got no haters, then you're not doing nothing. But when you have haters, especially undercover haters, like it's not enough just to hate no more. Now they want to be on your team, right? That's how you know you're doing good. And so definitely some things to consider here for career and finance. Overall, I feel like it's a lot of energy to deal with you, though, not necessarily money, but decisions around how you're moving forward. Okay. And so that's for you, Leo. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. As you know, this was a general reading. So if you're looking for something that is personal, you can hit me up here at lettispeak@gmail.com, or you can go over to my calendar. It'll be down in the description box, and go ahead and click on my link. And make sure you like, share, comment. Okay. Let me know how it resonated. If you haven't, hit that subscribe button for your girl. I appreciate it. All right. Until next time, you guys, take care, my Leo friends. Bye.